Alrighty, everybody. Hello. I like that you could see the caption from where John and I were talking right before starting this. So, uh, dropping those heavy dragon quotes. Anyways, hello, everyone, and welcome. We are doing another virtual D&D weekend, which is our favorite part of the month every month, right, John? Every month. And for this January event, John and I have the pleasure of kicking this off with our first streaming event of the weekend. If you are watching this and you don't know what a virtual D&D weekend is, I'm not sure what rock you've been living under, but you can join us this weekend and play some games with us right now. Literally, there are actually games happening right now. Yeah. So if you do want to play some games this weekend, head on over to the yawningportal.dnd.wizards.com and you can grab your tickets there, get some games, figure out what you want to do, and join us, become one of us. Otherwise, you're probably here to, I don't know, John, what are we here to do? Dragons! Dragons? Dragons. I've got a dragon tooth, but more on that later. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Oh. All right, 1 second, John. I'm being told that you are muted. Also known as I apparently have it looking at the wrong device. All right. How about now?
I'm going to try this one more time. Something about a dragon dentist, I think is what I was talking about before. But it wasn't really important. That's why we muted it.
Well,
censoring.
We just muted the whole thing. Nobody wanted to hear from John tonight. All right. We've got John fixed. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, they could see your captions the whole time, so they knew what you were saying.
Look at that. Look at the fail safes and backups.
Yeah.
Almost professional.
All right. Thanks, Ted. Good looking out, though. Appreciate that. But yeah, we are here to talk about Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I've got this beautiful collector copy, which is on the shelf there behind John. I wasn't prepared to put out all of my dragons behind me. I didn't know we were doing that. John didn't tell me.
This is my life. This is what no, it's not actually, that's not true at all. I dug through like way too much crap in my game closet, and I was like, oh, and I could get this, and I got the Tiamat here, and I've got like this, and I put all my Dragonlance books over here to represent. Yeah, I went way too involved, probably.
Way too involved.
I was excited. It's dragons.
Dragons.
You can't halfway a dragon.
I mean, you can, but
I wouldn't recommend it.
Let's not.
They take it personal.
All right. So for everyone who hasn't been living under a rock, you've probably seen Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. You might even have it on your own shelves in your own grubby little paws. And if so, we are super excited. If you are like me, you might have it on your shelf, but you've barely had time to read it. That's a real problem.
Yeah. I've had it for a while, and I did like a cursory skim, and I focused on the things that had Kryn, Dragonlance, Draconians. Oh, I love that.
My ever obliging partner is providing me with some dragons. Thanks.
See, I really wanted one of those.
We'll come back to that.
Now, I'd take out a second mortgage to try to get the colossal red dragon these days. Apparently, I read through it.
Picked this up along with 3 other of the original dragons from a guy in Chicago for a total of $500. All 4 of them.
That's a steal of a deal.
I know. I was like, yeah, I'll drive to you. It's fine.
That's quite the hoard. See, I went like right here. I'd put it like a place of honor. So no, I read through it a while back. So I had to refresh myself. And then I took a couple of notes for tonight on some stuff that I thought was particularly interesting. And from a trajectory standpoint, like the I think there were some very interesting things that I noticed as I read along that kind of pointed towards the future of how these books might operate that we may talk a little bit about.
Yeah. Without further ado, let's get into our kind of brief run through of the book, what we like in the book, what we wish we saw more of in the book. And then
Mhm.
after we go through that, I know most of you are here probably to help us with our Build a Dragon workshop that we're going to do later, that I totally surprised John with. Um, he didn't know we were building a dragon until today.
Nope, that's
But we are.
fine.
We are
Being a
build.
dungeon master is all about improvisation, so
Yeah,
we're going to test those skills today. That's all that means.
we are, with the help from Chat, who is hopefully going to help support our cause as well. So if you hit those chat commands that you see right there in the stream title, that'll tell you about our charity for the month, the National Coalition for the Homeless, uh, and about the dragons, which is to say, how you can help us build a dragon. So certain donations allow you to choose certain features for our dragon, and I have a feeling it's going to be weird and I'm going to love it. I don't know how we're going to tie all these elements together that we're going to get. So, I am anxious to start thinking of your best dragon stats, abilities, traits, features, attacks, legendary actions, lair actions, all that good stuff dragons have. Um, And then once we get all that together, I guess we'll figure out what he looks like. I'm not an artist, but if this sounds really cool, we might get an artist who is good at art stuff to draw it. I like that plan. But yeah. All right. So, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I've got up on the screen the dragons, the cover art for the normal cover, which is really pretty. It's got these adventurers in a little safe bubble of solitude because they got up here and they realized, oh fuck, there's two very giant dragons. And we are three very small people. In my mind, that's how it went, anyways.
I mean, it really is. In this instance, sometimes you really wish that you'd gotten one or the other cover for these books. Both of the books have really phenomenal cover art. This is really, really good. Both of them, like the juxtaposition of a red versus a white, or in this instance, I think that's a gemstone dragon that the red's facing off against, which is a new dragon type. It's cool. I like that. Either one of those would go well on a wall.
Yeah,
In any home.
I love that art, and the art on the so that art is by so that's a crystal dragon and a red dragon by Chris Ron, and the alternate cover that I held up earlier is also apparently a crystal dragon and a red dragon battling by Anato Finstark. And I apologize if I butchered your name, Anato, or Anat. I don't know. I'm bad at names. So let's start at the beginning. The first thing that we get to in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons is, the elegy for the first world, which I am, I'm not a poet, so I'm not gonna read it all out there, but it was really well put together, and it had hints of a lot of stuff in it, a lot of lore.
Yeah, that's the one of the things that I dug into the most was this one in particular. So there's they've reordered the cosmology and the mythology of Dungeons and Dragons to focus specifically on dragons. The dragons are essentially the genesis of everything. A long time ago, Bahamut and Tiamat created the first dragon, which is Sardior, I think is how you pronounce that name, and it was a gemstone dragon. And what is weird about it is in that this mythology and the new mythology, Bahamut and Tiamat are consorts, maybe, or partners of some sort in creation, and they create the first world. And then the gods from the outer planes invade the first world, and the triumvirate of dragons, the Tiamat, Bahamut and the Sardior. They fend them off as best they can, but Bahamut dies.
Mm-hmm.
Tiamat is imprisoned, and then
Vanished.
then Sardior is imprisoned, or no, is flees,
Sundered.
flees and hides. Well, they flee and hide first, because then what ends up happening is, let's see, the gods come in with their followers. They colonize the first world. And then Bahamut makes peace with the invading gods, but he longs for Tiamat's freedom from imprisonment. Tiamat breaks free on her own, and the dragons she brings in wage war on the gods and all of their followers. And the first world that the three dragons had created, or the three draconic deities had created, is destroyed, sundered. And whenever that happens, Sardior's consciousness is scattered among all of the fragments. And so what happens is the different fragments that are created from that first world are like the embers across the cosmos that ignite the fire of creating the worlds that we know of: Greyhawk, Dragonlance, you name it. Any of the D&D branded Eberron, all that good stuff. All the campaign settings.
All of the big campaign settings. And so this really ties it in nicely. Speaking of other campaign settings, something that I know both John and I had hoped to see a bit more of from this, based solely upon the title when we heard it, was Dragonlance. Fizban is a very well-known figure from Dragonlance, and we do get a little bit of Fizban in here at the beginning. We have this beautiful, let's see if his picture is here on the thing, just like it is. There we are. Beautiful artwork of Fizban and his canary, who I told John I think looks like Ian McKellen.
Yep. And then I said that he definitely has Tommy Chong's eyes.
Yeah.
Fizban looks like he partakes from time to time. That's all I'm saying. He may have glaucoma. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? But it was interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
He's definitely seen some things in his many years,
and he sees things, I think, from time to time as well. As what I'm getting at too. I think with Fizban, this is like a different visual interpretation than what I'm used to, right? The typical Dragonlance Fizban is going to be gray mousy robes and look a lot like Gandalf. And I think that I completely understand why in this instance, when you're trying to create almost like a setting neutral interpretation of a character, that you don't want it to look like it's Gandalf, because people are going to say, well, that looks like Gandalf, that have never seen Fizban or never been introduced to Dragonlance at all. So I understand there's a redesign that they'd gone with here, because like the sash is not something that is not a Fizban sash, at least in the Dragonlance stuff.
So. No, not really. It's a bit too nice.
Right? Well, yeah. So Fizban I always saw him as like dopey, not dopey, but he was always doddering, and like it was very old and very not infirm is too far, but like just really aged and crotchety. Very, very crotchety is the way they always came off. Like, this is a really mellow, super mellow and super chill Fizban that I'm just not used to. Not that it's a bad thing. Even as a diehard Dragonlance fan, I understand what they were going for and why they had to kind of do what they did. And so my Fizban is still in the back of my mind and in the books that I read since I was a kid. So I'm still happy.
Yeah. And they did an excellent job in this first little, kind of like forward of explaining all of the different worlds, how those came from the first world and everything. And then, like you said, we lead into a very setting neutral character creation section going from there, because get into that and we definitely see that it's not Dragonlance. Starting with the draconic races having very generic names and everything. But I like that in that it definitely allows people who don't have that history of having read every single Dragonlance novel that exists. I don't know who does stuff like that. it allows them to connect with it too. People who've only played Forgotten Realms, they don't look at it and be like, okay, well, I don't get this, so I'm just gonna
Mhm.
not read it and skip it. I'm trying to click on my screen and I'm having the struggle. So
Yeah, I think with the races, you can all that's kind of where I was going to get with, like, it's really interesting what they did with Dragonborn in particular in this. I'm not going to say 5-5, but maybe Dragonlance 2024. I can see a little some shifts in design tactics that they used for some of these. In the redesigns that they did for the Dragonborn, these are substitutes for what you see in the player's handbook.
mhm.
And one of the new ability score method is in here. That's first and foremost, where it is not specific, our scores tied to specific attributes or ability scores. It's not a +2 to strength, +1 to charisma anymore. It is a +2 to something, +1 to something, or +1 to 3 things are your
Yeah,
option.
which I think is really good because it doesn't like tie these Dragonborn into being strong
Mm-hmm.
but not very smart.
Right.
Because especially if you follow the lore from other campaign settings, they are very smart
Mm-hmm.
in some of those settings. They are, immensely wise, cunning, devious. Sometimes they are not very strong at all.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Wiry is what they like to be referred to as, wiry,
yeah,
right?
wiry.
It's like, you don't have to be strong or brutish, right? Some of, like, going through, like, the chromatic dragon, it's interesting. A lot of it is the same, like the chromatic ancestry, where you pick a color and you get assigned like a different energy type is assigned to it. That's the same. The draconic resistance is there. The breath weapon is pretty much the same. What they did, though, is really interesting, and I kind of like, is that instead of an action to use a breath weapon, you use your attack action, and you can substitute one of your attacks for your breath weapon. So if you're a fighter and you got multi-attack, you sub out you got 2 attacks, sub one of them out for your breath weapon, and it's all good, right? The chromatic, then the other one for, like, that's pretty much the same thing for all of them, except for, like, the chromatic dragon. There's a chromatic warding,
Mhm.
where instead of just a resistance to an energy type, you get immunity towards an energy type for 1 minute, once per long rest, which is pretty cool.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're not like a full-fledged dragon, so you're not just like, ah, I'm always immune to lightning. You're like, I've communed with my ancestors for a moment, and I have the
Tapped in.
strength,
Tapped in, exactly.
the
That's cool, right?
fortitude.
Because
Yeah.
that's that moment that you can have in a campaign where you go Nova, or it's like a super Dragon Saiyan, right? You can have that really dramatic moment with it, where you pull out all the stops, somebody tries to hit you with a lightning bolt, and you eat it like it's Cheerios.
Yeah. The only thing that I would kind of wish to see there instead of, it being an action would
Mhm.
actually have been it as a
Mhm.
reaction.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I like
Um,
that too. Yeah, like, how often are you going to have the wind up and the pitch of a lightning bolt or something like that, and be able to prep for something like that? That's a good point.
I mean, well, if you're going down to fight in a cavern with a bunch of Azers, then you kind of know what you're getting yourself into there.
Yeah, it's
So,
true. That's true.
but Citadel Geek, I think that Spencer is definitely now expecting us to design a super dragon Saiyan.
That's all you had to say, bro. That's all you had to say.
All right. Then we have the Gem Dragonborn. I am particularly partial to them. Again, much like the promoted dragons, the gem ancestry that you choose defines your dragon type. We've gone with the same change that the breath weapon replaces one of your attacks.
Mhm.
But as a crystal dragon, we've got the psionic mind. We can send telepathic
Cool.
messages. You could just, give your allies that eyebrow raise, and your enemies are like, you just communicated by raising your eyebrow. No, I talked in their head.
Well,
It's much less dramatic.
what makes it even really, really more useful even is that they don't have to understand the language that you speak. You don't have to understand theirs. They just understand. So you could speak to a Fomorian, even if you don't know Giant, or you could speak to a Drow in their mind without knowing Elven at all. You just simply know. You tap directly into their consciousness. It's really cool.
Yeah, I like to think of it. It's more like I don't know, that shared common language of
Mhm.
like maybe we're communicating with pictures in our minds, but it doesn't actually say that. That's just kind of how I
Right.
visualized it.
Mhm.
And then for the other gym feature, you've got, of course, gym flight, which I'm fine with it being a bonus action. That makes sense. That's in line with how you manifest wings for pretty much every other
Mhm.
thing that gets wings that doesn't have them naturally. Um, so like as a draconic sorcerer, once you get to that stage where you can manifest your wings, it's a bonus action.
Mhm.
So yeah. And cool thing about them is, unlike a lot of other wings, you can hover.
Yes, that is cool.
Uh,
That's again, like that flavor aspect of it.
yeah.
I'm like in my head. I'm so visual in my head about something very cinematic. That's cool. Now the metallic dragon is much of the same as what you see in there, right? So you've got the metallic ancestry is the same by choosing your metal type, and it's got your associated energy type. Breath weapons pretty much the same. Draconic resistance is the same. The big thing is the metallic breath weapon that you get. You can do in addition, or in addition. I think it's either in addition to, or
You
is it
gain
in
a
substitute?
second. Yeah, you gain a second. So it's in
Yeah,
addition.
so you do damage and you do an innervating blast, or you do like a blast that pushes them, repulsion, right? So the repulsion will push and knock them prone, or the innervating blast will knock them unconscious or incapacitate them until the beginning of your next turn, I think.
Until the start of your next turn, yeah.
Yep, yep. That's
And
cool.
so yeah, really kind of plays into the trope that the metallic dragons are typically good aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they don't have to be. It can be whatever alignment you want.
Right.
And that, all right, I'm going to hit you with my breath weapon. I really don't want to kill you. I just need
It's
you
going
to
to be a
calm down. So I'm just going
it's
to
a really nice
knock you
breath
out.
weapon. It's a very nice one. Right.
Well, the initial breath weapon was probably lightning or something. It's fine.
Right. That was just to get your attention. This is to put you down for a nap because you obviously are very cranky.
Yeah, warned you. Warned you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the artwork they have of the Dragonborns that they've got available is absolutely stunning. I
Mm.
particularly like this copper Dragonborn because you see kind of like that green modeling of like, tarnished copper, which I think was a really good touch. Copper's not just one monolithic color.
Mm-hmm. It's got the tarnish to it, right? Or
Mhm.
like the patina.
The
You have a
patina.
patina. Yeah, it's cool.
Patina.
Really cool. I like that.
Subclasses, I was really kind of meh on
Yeah,
those.
a little bit.
Um, you got the monk, the way of the ascended dragon, and then we have all of your stuff you get from that. Gives you, you can choose one of the dragon damage types. You learn draconic, and then you get a breath weapon. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay, cool. So you get to be a dragon without being a dragon.
Yep.
That's
It's very aligned, like a monk aligned towards a draconic vibe is what you really get out of it. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Now the Ranger Drake Warden was a little bit more interesting, in that you get to summon a drake, and who doesn't want their adorable puppy dragon
Mm-hmm.
at all times?
And
But
and who can fight? Who's going to be upset about that artwork? By the way,
I know, I know.
right? A Dragonborn Drake Warden shares affection with her Drake companion. I
I
love it.
I I loved it too. But aside from that though, it is just as meh as the rest of the
Mm,
Ranger options to me.
a little bit. It does scale at least, right? So you get kind of the baseline creature,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Drake will, or the companion will end up scaling with you as you level up, which is nice, right? At least it's not something that's going to remain static. It'll always be use a hound's statistics or wolf statistics wherever. It'll get beefed up as you get beefed up with it. But yeah, I'm kind of
It's got its
it's
own stat block.
yes, it has its own stat block, but and then some of them are dependent upon your stats, right? So
Mm-hmm.
hit points are 5 + 5 times your ranger level. Your armor classes, their armor class is 14 plus your proficiency bonus, that kind of stuff. So it's a coupling of
Yep.
the two.
And then saving throws, you add your proficiency bonus as
Mhm.
well, and things of that nature. You add your proficiency bonus to hit, so as you're leveling up, your Drake is getting better. But it's
Mhm.
still, I don't know, you know, at 15th level, when the bond to your Drake reaches the pinnacle of power, you gain extra damage on your bite and your dragon gets bigger.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, cool. We've reached the pinnacle of our power and we get a more bitey bite. I mean, yeah, no, Planar Allies loves the Drake Warder. One of their players is playing it. Love the storytelling opportunities. Yes,
Hmm.
from a storytelling perspective, it is great. Go right back to that artwork. Like, there's so much there. Like, how did you become a Drake Warden? You know, how did you develop this bond? Especially if you're not a Dragonborn, right?
Hmm.
So, you know, there's a lot going on there. Just like from a purely mechanical, I'm just like, I don't
You
know.
want more crunch. That's what you want.
I don't know that I necessarily
You want to
want
melt
more
faces? Is that what you're
crunch.
looking for
I don't
here?
know that I necessarily want more crunch, but you know, like a perfected bond. Okay, a perfected bond to me should be something a little bit more impressive than like, all right, you're really in tune with your Drake. It bites harder. It should be like, you know, you've perfected this bond, and now it has like some, I don't know, maybe more powerful like familiar trait.
Hmm.
You know, it can um it can cast, you know, spell, a touch spell or something, because you know rangers can
Hmm.
get spells, um, or something like that. You've really gotten in touch with your Drake, and but you know, or you've perfected your bond and your Drake got bigger, whatever.
Well,
Uh,
let me ask you this then. Here's a thought thought experiment. What would you like to have seen instead of something like this?
yeah, like saying, um, I would just, you know, think that like, you know, you've got this creature, and dragons are generally like inherently magical creatures, so
Hmm.
drakes could have a little bit of that. So like, you know, um, ranger is a spell casting cast. So, you know, I think it would have been great to see, you know, as that bond develops, you're sharing in some of that magical
I
capabilities.
see.
So, you
Okay,
know,
you can cast spells out of it or
yeah,
something like that,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
or even sub out. Like you could expend spell slots similar to like a paladin for them to be able to do elemental attacks aligned with your draconic type, maybe, or something like that, or their draconic type.
They're draconic type. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would make sense because I mean you're not necessarily draconic.
that's right. You may not be a dragonborn, right?
Yeah. And, you know, I think that would have been a little less underwhelming. Not the rest of it, of course, is very thematic. You know, the Drake has the breath weapon at 11th level. You can use it as a mount.
Hmm.
You get resistance to your Drake's damage type, which, but that's really good.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it would get problematic very
Right.
fast.
It is interesting to me to see how WotC whenever they're designing ranger options, whenever a companion, or even not even just ranger, but anytime there's a companion that's involved, how the decisions that they make on, I think that maybe that's part of it too, right? It's like I'd like this, maybe I need to see this thing in combat, and that
Hmm.
maybe I may need to see somebody else that may tactically be able to align it better than I can in my mind, because it seems like they sometimes have a hard time figuring out what to do with a creature when it comes to when it's a companion, right? Because I know that they're trying to make everything as balanced as absolutely possible, and it's really easy when in the action economy for something else that you've got with you having an action, and that being one more action against the bad guys, right? The people that you're, whoever it is you're fighting. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they feel like they have to kind of try to make it as.
I know they're trying to go with action economy and all of that because you've got yours and it has its, but like
Mhm.
when its abilities are super underwhelming, like I
How
don't know,
effective is it going to really be?
it just doesn't feel like mechanically an effective use of, you know, of your character. Obviously,
Mm.
you know, mechanics aren't the end all be all. Um, you know, on to the next thing of mechanics here, we have the three feats: the gift of the chromatic dragon, gift of the gem dragon, gift of the metallic dragon. Again, I don't know. You know, you manifest some of the powers of the dragon. Well, if you were a dragonborn, you already did that.
Right.
It's really
And
cool for like, you know, elves or goblins or gnomes or, you know, lizard folk or whatever. I would actually story-wise, that would be really cool as a lizard folk. You'd be like, I'm a dragon now.
Big scary dragon.
Mama said I could be whatever I wanted to be when I grow up, so I'm a dragon.
That's right. Well, I wonder if okay, the playing devil's advocate, right? If this is not even intended for a dragonborn, but to make your character more like a dragon, right? If they're a sorcerer and they've got the draconic bloodline and they want to double down on being dragony, I want to be extra dragony. I want to be a specific kind of extra dragony. I think one of the things that I kind of get is a letdown to me is whenever I get an ability score increase as a part of a feat. It seems like a half measure on a feat. I would personally, it's just a personal preference. I'd rather a feat be really more tied, like specific or specialized, because I could have added a point or 2 points into something if I wanted to, but the feat really needs to be going almost not above and beyond necessarily, but I need to I want to justify not having that ability score increase at all. Do you ever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you've got, all of the other ones that are wonderful, like the Sentinel feat. I mean, Alert has a special place in Hell, also in my heart.
Or Investigator. My investigation and is like I have a passive investigation and a passive insight now. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, of all the ones there, like you said though, if we're taking like my Draconic Sorcerer and we're gonna be more dragony, I wouldn't mind having the gift of the Gem Dragon, right? Let's well, let's go ahead and bump that charisma up another one. I'm a sorcerer after all. But then like you get that same if you take damage, as the Gem Dragon, you can just be like, no, be gone. I am a squishy sorcerer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Budge off. All right, and hello, Alvaro. Good to see you as well, and obviously this handsome dwarf is probably excited to see you.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
But yeah, no, like those are pretty nice. All right, did we cover?
Yeah, I think we got it.
Character creation.
We did thoroughly, yeah.
All right, let's breeze through some dragon magic, and then let's talk about some dragons, right?
Yes.
Dragon magic. We had a underwhelming number of new spells available. There were 7 new spells added. Nether's Mischief, Rhymes Binding Ice, Ashardlin's Stride, Rulithum's Psychic Lance, Summon Draconic Spirit, Fizban's Platinum Shield, and Draconic Transformation. Now, I do like that they tied most of those to a very well-known character in lore.
Yeah, Ashardlin's Stride, Rhymes Binding Ice, those were cool, and then Fizban, obviously, right?
Yeah. And so that really, kind of makes it nice. And the fact that they gave us spells for classes that aren't in the core book. So we got an Artificer spell. So, that's
nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't get too many of those. The spells themselves are, kind of what you expect. Ashardlin's Strike, Ashardlin being the massive, impressive red dragon that everyone knows. You get really strong fire. Gives you the bonus action, increases your speed, and just kind of light everything around you on fire. Draconic Transformation. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Well, some of these, what surprises me is not necessarily any of the mechanics. I mean, the Draconic Transformation is you get blind sight, you get a breath weapon, and you get wings. Nice.
And you could see through through everything that's not total cover.
Right. And you get it for a minute, right? So every single turn you can use a breath weapon or whatever, which that's actually not bad. 7th level seems really, really pricey.
It's bonus action.
It is, but 7th level, whew.
Yeah.
Nelson, that's a really high level spell for what effectively is going to make it to where You can see invisible creatures, and you can use a breath weapon. Well, no, you got the wings. You can
But
fly speed of 60.
the breath weapon though is sustained, so you cast it once as a bonus action,
Hmm.
and then for the rest of the minute, you've got your regular old action that you're taking, and you don't have to cast this spell again.
You can use bonus action to use it again,
It's
right?
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
going again and again and again.
I see
So
it.
that is nice because for 1 minute you are raining, hell on a 60-foot cone of, so you could just be turning in a circle being like, this whole area needs to clear out, um, or take 68 force damage, whatever.
So I'm looking at the spells here. Fly is a third level spell.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is no blind sight spell, is there?
Blind deafen.
Well, blind deafen would
Oh,
be a
that's
condition you can
your.
put on them, right? I don't think there is one. I'm looking for blind sight. God bless you,
I don't think
D&D
so.
Beyond. Yeah, I don't see anything like that. So you have essentially 3 different effects. You have a third level spell effect. You've got a spell effect in the other 2, right? So, and then I think isn't there a draconic breath spell? Spell their breath. Talk to me. I'm just trying to I'm doing the calculations in my head. Yeah, I don't really see anything that's out there that's like that as a spell. So I'm not really super shocked. I guess 7, maybe 7's right. I would probably go for more of again. I'm sure they play tested it, and I'm just Monday morning quarterbacking the whole thing, and they probably did a much more thorough job than me reading it and being like, that's not right. You know what I mean?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. I liked Fizban's platinum shield. That was pretty cool. You get a half cover, evasion, and damage resistance towards acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison damage. That's nice. And you can move it.
All
Which is
right.
pretty sweet.
Dragon already has a name or the alias, so this will be the last cherry on top. So we actually haven't started building the dragon yet.
Oh yeah.
We're still just going through the book, which I don't know. Apparently, John and I talk too much, so we're gonna have to hit the.
We probably do need to expedite. Let's do it.
Hit the highlights. All right. The rest of them, they're all. I'm about to say they're all bonus actions. They are not. The next one, bonus action, 6th level as well. Fizban's platinum shield could really, Fizban doesn't even want it attributed to him.
Right. I would have gone with like Featherfall or Feather, just Feather, chicken feathers, or Fizban's Fireball.
Yeah. The others are, much more reasonable. You got a 2nd level illusion. We got a 4th level enchantment, and a 2nd level evocation, which I thought was pretty great. 3d8 cold damage in a 30-foot cone, and it puts ice formations there. So, we're also doing some terrain control, some area control. So, summon Draconic Spirit, 5th level conjuration. That checks out. This Draconic Spirit is, it's pretty nice. Makes a number of attacks equal to half the spell's level. So if you're casting at 5th level, you get 2 attacks. Those attacks are pretty decent. You got breath weapon as well. So, you're going to get at least 2 rend attacks and a breath weapon out of that. And it sticks around for up to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So long as you don't lose concentration. I think we should just skip the magic items, right? Do you want to just?
Dragon lances are in there though. Gotta talk about at least the dragon lance. Come
All
on.
right, the dragon.
We just talked about that. There's not enough dragon lance in here, and you're trying to strip this from the show.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. There is 1 dragon lance in this book.
There is. Okay. All right, brace yourself, everyone. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay.
It is legendary though.
It's legendary, but it's old school, right? In old school, it was like a +5 weapon, and then like a possibility of instant death against dragons. And this one, they nerf it, understandably, +3 on damage and attacks. And then if it hits dragon, they take 3d6 force damage, and any dragon of your choice that you see within 30 feet can make an immediate reaction as a melee attack against whatever it is. Let's actually see. Can just make a melee attack. That's interesting. So what is this perfect for? Riding dragons.
Yes.
Wink.
You and all of your friends are, out there hanging on dragons, balling around, and you got your dragon lance, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna throw my lance, and now I would like all of my companions who are also riding dragons, definitely,
Hmm.
to have their dragon blast this fucker.
Any dragon of your choice. Any dragon of your
with
choice.
with you know with their claws or bite.
Hmm.
Obviously, they can't just blast it with their
Hmm.
breath weapon. That would be too much.
Too much.
Although it's
I like it.
it's legendary though. So would
Well,
it be?
I think that's the only thing. It's like when if you put legendary on an item, man, that item is going to be good. That's like Eye of Vecna territory right there, right? This is not an Eye of Vecna, but I mean, it is. I think it's one of those things where it's not really very rare either. It's like in that strange in between. And Dragonlance was not really well known for being. It was high magic, but it wasn't high power
Mm-mm.
in the old setting. So this maybe a little bit of noodling here and there. You can make it just right. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I'll take it.
Okay. And then the other one that I thought was particularly interesting was the flail of Tiamat. It is a flail,
Yeah.
and each flail looks like a head of Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
just for
That's cool.
just for flavor. Also legendary, of course. And then Fizban's gold canary.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Dragons. We're already 40 minutes into this, and we haven't gotten any dragons. So, dragons. John, do you have a favorite dragon?
All right. I do. I actually like. Well, okay. The dragons, I like the Sapphire. I was particularly interested to see their hit me.
Of the dragons there in the Draconomicon, the Sapphire dragons. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I like. Dig the Sapphire Dragon. I like their lore. And mechanically they're interesting. And I like this psionic bent that they've put on gemstone dragons in particular. So that's kind of where I gravitated towards anyway. I mean, I could go classic, but I'm really interested in a book like this to see what they've thought of that's new. And so that was a good one that I liked. I liked the Sapphire one in particular.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. I am a fan of the Moonstone dragons. We got a lot of interesting stuff here. The Draconomicon is not where I want to be to actually show you some Moonstone dragon. I want to be in the bestiary. Now, why do I like it? Okay, well, first off, Moonstone dragons look cool as heck. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, they live in places kissed by the moon, the lonely peaks, the forest clearings, the placid lakes. It's just so, I don't know, romantic, which Dragonlance was. It was a romance setting, not like, like a romance novel, but
Mm-hmm. Sure. For some it was. If you heard Krishna talk, you'd think that's all it was.
And they have magic portals, they do a lot with dreams, disoriented visions, and they just, you're annoying them, so they're gonna make you dance. Why dance? I don't know, why not? They come to you in your dreams, they can, plane or travel. And I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just appealing. Also, I'm gonna exhale a beam of moonlight. How do you do that? Don't ask questions.
Yeah, I like with the Sapphire Dragon. Some of the stuff that I like in particular is that they're burrowers. So they're cave dwellers. So they got spider climb and they're able to tunnel. They're psionic. So there's like a psychic step where they can teleport 60 feet.
Yep.
I don't think I ever wanted to live in a universe where I'm fighting anything that big and nasty that teleports 60 feet as a bonus action. And it can do it in infinitum. It can do it as many times as it wants to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And they look great. The artwork for it looks phenomenal. It's exactly what you would expect out of it. It's kind of like they almost have like these tendrils, these crystalline tendrils that fall off the sides of their face, almost like catfish. It's really cool.
All right. Let's see. Beard Droid in chat says Topaz dragons.
Topaz. Oh boy.
Topaz dragons are their favorite. So Topaz dragons, decay and despair are bound up in the very nature of topaz dragons. Reading the book here to you. And yeah, I mean, they're beautiful. Yeah, he is a chunky boy. He
Chalky.
I think they're very interesting. I think for me, it was just the lore of it just wasn't as appealing to me. I like that they're very versatile. They can swim, um, you know, and indeed, like they frequently do swim. They make their lairs on the seacoast. Um, they really prize that information over like
Yeah,
material
information is their hoard.
possessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I also like their coloring though.
Sure.
Who's not gonna like that gold and blue? Like that's nice.
Well, and if we're
Um,
talking about dragons for just a second, can I just talk about mythic actions? Have you seen? I mean, did you see that as a new mechanic that's incorporated into
uh,
dragons?
let's see. Mythic actions. Mythic
If you
actions.
if you want your dragon to have a life after 0 hit points, mythic actions are where to go. Right there.
All right, where's one with a mythic action on the
Let's see
sheet?
the metal. I think the metallic great worm has one. Yeah, there you go. If the great worm's metallic awakening trait has activated in the last hour, which we don't have to worry about that part, it can use one of the options below. It can make a bite attack, and it does shattering war, which costs 2 actions. So they have legendary actions and they've got mythic actions that they can use at the same time. And for something with a challenge rating of 28,
All
I
right,
mean, go whole hog.
I had to click it like 12 times, but there we are.
Yeah,
Uh,
D Beyond is being a little bit
yeah.
persnickety this
Um,
evening.
and mythic actions are something that I really love. I think mythic actions first showed up in the Theros book, if I'm not
You're yes,
mistaken.
yes, they
And
did. Yeah.
Alan has given me a thumbs up. My memory has, yeah, my memory has held true this time.
You haven't slept since then, so you know. I got it.
Uh, yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like that. It gives it a little bit more oomph. Like
Mm-hmm.
legendary actions, cool. All kinds of things have legendary actions, but like for something to be like mythic, all
Mm-hmm.
right. So like, I like though that they don't trigger unless like something extraordinary has happened. There's an
Right.
extenuating circumstance. You dropped it to 0, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to abide by that. Or in other cases, the trigger could be something different. But I like too though that there it lists that like if a party kills one, gets it down to 0, and triggers the metallic awakening, and then defeats it after that while it's got its mythic actions going, like we should consider that a very serious achievement. You get double the XP, which is a lot because
Yeah, a lot.
it was already 120,000. So you killed it twice. You get 120,000 again. Oh,
Yeah.
that's that's a couple of levels, even at high level.
Mm-hmm. I think from a cinematic effect, I really like the idea of mythic actions too, because they're very specific about it's like a legendary action is just an extra bucket of actions that you can use in between or within every single turn
It gives you more
or
action
every round.
economy as a big
Right.
baddie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you go like to use a fourth editionism. I know that's blasphemy, but I'll say it anyway. To use that is the elites, not the elites, but the solos, right? It makes them more of a solo monster because it gives them more actions that they can do in order to kind of meet a 4 to 5 person party that they're going up against. The mythic actions, though, are more thematic, right? They turn the tide of a fight. They put a twist on a monster, and it feels a little bit like if you were bloodied fighting a vampire,
Mm-hmm.
right? This triggered event occurs, and now they've got an additional pocket of actions that they can use to really ratchet things up. And mythic actions are all optional, so you don't even have to use them at all. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we've discussed our favorite dragons. If anybody else has
Yeah,
a favorite dragon and you want to hear our thoughts on it, let us know. We'll be happy to go back and touch on any of the others. But I think, John, I think it's time to build a dragon.
let's do it.
Yeah, let's build a dragon. All right. So the Build a Dragon workshop, for anyone who is joining late, is benefiting our charity. Let me drop that. I think I can type it. Or gosh, I can't type it because it's definitely dragons. I know. Yeah. All right, so Jenny and John are gonna create some new dragons. You can. I'm gonna drop that into my own chat. Let me drop the donate again too for anyone who's joined late and doesn't know how to donate. And if for whatever reason these disappear, you can click these things. So you'll be able to donate to support this great cause. It is especially horrible time of the year to be homeless. It is cold and wet and miserable. So homeless shelters are most in need at this time of year. So we are overjoyed to be able to contribute and help such a wonderful cause. And yeah, we're gonna do a dragon. So you can help us choose all of the stats, traits, lores, features, abilities, attacks, legendary abilities, mythic abilities too. We'll put mythic abilities on that one as well. But John, why don't we start with some of the basics? What are some things that we want to see on a dragon? So let me flip over to the bestiary here. So I've got a dragon in front of me. So do we want to do like an ancient dragon, an adult dragon, or something younger? I'm thinking probably like an adult dragon is like a nice
something you want your average party to be able to at least have some sort of a not get disintegrated chance against, maybe.
Yes, something we can, realistically throw into a streamed game and
Right. Okay, well,
me not accidentally one shot. So adult dragon.
Yeah. Let's do adult dragon. I like that. That
Adult
would be a good
dragon.
age, right?
Adult dragon. I've got a piece of paper. I have actual paper, and I'm writing on it. Everybody. All right.
The analog.
And
so retro.
For everyone not able to donate, you could still throw out some suggestions into the chat. Would love to hear all of those as well. Obviously, we'll take more consideration into people who are donating. But this isn't on YouTube. I've only got it on 2 channels. Okay. Whew, good. An adult dragon. Okay. We don't have to stick to any of the prescribed types. We can really go off the rails here. So armor class for adult dragons, it kind of varies. Let me go over here and see
this. Do we want to think about like an environment that it came from at all?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because you got the typicals are your chromatics, metallics, and your gemstones, but you also have you have shadow dragons. They don't really belong to one of those 3, right? So what about either forest, swamp, desert? I mean, I know that a lot of the
far realm.
Far realm. Yeah, I like that.
I think
something with lots of tentacles and eyes.
Tentacles and eye. I like that. The captions were just like, I think fart.
That's funny.
That wasn't what I said the first time, but okay.
Yeah.
I think Far Realm is good because not only do you have the weird kind of abomination sort things, but you can also have literally any dragon that can be on any of the planes because they come through a color pool.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think one of my suggestions or my example that I put down was something about dazzling rainbows. Oh no, D&D Beyond's not working. It took too long to respond. Monsters.
Like a prismatic spray type thing. Is that what you were thinking about? Or hypnotic ray?
I don't know. I was thinking, yeah, kind of like a like a super powered prismatic spray. Maybe something like in between that and what's the one that's a wall where you've got to get through all the I'm bad at D&D,
Prismatic
everybody.
wall or prismatic bubbles sphere. Prismatic sphere.
Sphere. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wall, bubble, spear. 2 syllables. Sounds like.
We'll get into it. All right. So we definitely have. Okay, so it looks like Alvaro is seconding Far Realms. We got a heart on that. All right, so we got a dragon. We got an adult dragon. We are in the Far Realms. Do we want to give him tentacles?
Oh, man, it's got to have tentacles. If it's from the Far Realm, it's got to be Cthulian, right? So like it would have these big bat wings and tentacles and like lots of eyes, like everywhere.
D&D Beyond's like, no, we're not doing this right now.
It is like, I think it's having what's Fizban's having. That's what I'm getting from it right now.
All right, so we've got tentacles. All right, so we've got tentacles. That's fine. So are they tentacles more like squid tentacles, or are we thinking more like displacer beast type tentacles?
Okay. What do you think? Okay, so like I've kind of got at least a couple of things in this thing at this point. So let's go. Do you want to go the traditional squiddy type tentacles, or do you want to do something different?
I'm kind of thinking tentacles, kind of like a roper.
Oh, right on with like barbs, maybe.
Yeah, with like barbs, like
Yeah.
like they just kind of you can send them out kind of like a grappling hook. You just throw it. The barb goes into your enemy who's gotten 200 feet away or whatever ridiculous number it is, and you're like, not so fast.
Yeah. So the question is, where are the tentacles located? I'm gonna say the mouth.
Okay.
That's like it draws them in, like right, like it draws them in. That's what it's drawing them into its maw. So it needs like a really big, nasty, predator style mouth, right?
It opens its mouth like a moray eel, and instead of having a pharyngeal jaw inside, it has pharyngeal tentacles.
Yeah, I like that. Sold. You had me at moray eel, but I'll take it.
All right. So they are barbed, pharyngeal. All right. Pharyngeal, like a moray. I gotta write that down, like a moray. All right. So we're in the Far Realm. It can literally be any color. I kind of liked, tentacle breath. Yeah. Maybe that's okay. So yeah, so let's circle back to that. So the tentacle breath.
Come back to that.
Let me
I see you,
down.
Craig. I see you.
Yeah, tentacle breath. All right, I'm checking everywhere. That's cool. Tentacle breath. All right, so color. I really liked. So going back to Theros, where we got these mythic actions from.
Okay.
The Nyxborn things. How they looked like starry night sky constellations. They were very like ephemeral looking.
No, I like that. Like you stare into the abyss stares back. That's the abyss that stares back.
Yeah. So I think maybe, we're in the Far Realm and it's just like space and everything, and they have a very galaxy look to them.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Would they have the typical draconic
shape,
like a quadrupedal body, or would it be something more like really weird, like an aboleth or something like that?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I was just looking at one here. Let me flip.
Because then wherever they land, they don't have to actually walk.
Yeah.
They could just levitate or fly or hover or whatever, right? So they don't even have to have they don't have to have legs. They can have whatever you want, right? It could be more like a deep sea creature almost, right? Where it drifts through the void, seeking what it will consume.
I kind of think, like the idea of like when sea creatures first came on land, how they had front legs, right? But like the back leg is still very much like that powerful shark.
Almost very like a very amphibian, like whenever they're like nematode, right? Like a what is it? Is it a nematode? I'm trying to think of like what the in between, whatever, between a frog and a tadpole. I think it's a nematode, isn't it? Something else, kind of.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
it doesn't matter. Where they still have kind of like the nubs, right?
Mhm.
But then there's almost like there's a tail that like a one of the like a finned tail almost in the back to help them propel themselves through the water if they go back in.
Mhm.
I like that.
I like that.
I like
And
that too.
then, all right. So I guess I'm just gonna write down nematode.
Nematode. Okay, Dude, I probably got this completely wrong. Nope, those are roundworms. Disregard. What is it called? It's something. It's like it's Neo something or other. Frog.
I don't know.
It drive me crazy, man. My 8th grade physical science teacher is gonna be super pissed at me
Oh
for not knowing
God. Mine also would be, sorry, Mrs. Hall. I don't remember any of this. It's been a while.
this.
So it's got front legs, and then its rear is more suited to like an
Yeah,
aquatic type environment.
and
Okay.
it does it. I like the idea of it having like maybe okay. If we're going back to the Cthulhian far realm weird, is like it
Oh yeah.
has an ability that is where when you look at it, its shape is not just alien. It's like your eyes can't adjust to it.
All
You know,
right.
it's so weird. It's almost like a hypnotic effect that it can give off whenever something looks at it for the first time. Like old school dragons. Go ahead.
Have that
Go ahead.
frightful presence. So does this one have
Exactly.
one more that like um
Maddening visage.
yes.
Yeah.
Although I do still want to get away from the term madness in D&D in general, but we
Oh, that's
haven't
fair.
we
No, no,
haven't
no.
yet.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's unsettling
This
visage or um.
yeah. Oh, all right, see. I've got a donation from Kifa Studios on one of these channels here. $10. So Kevin, you got anything that you definitely want to
Yeah.
see on this bad boy? You're the artist. You're the artist. You see weird stuff all the time. What weird thing should we put on here? Um, maybe we have Kevin draw this later. Although Kevin's more of a painter.
I'll take it. It's got to sketch it first, right?
I don't know. He's a, Kevin paints minis.
Oh, oh, gotcha. Well, I mean,
I know.
senior.
That's what I said. You're more of a painter. I know. Not all artists can do everything. Gosh.
Why
Uh,
not?
whatever. I can't paint minis or draw. Whatever. But anyways, though, you did donate, so you definitely get to choose something that definitely goes on this really weird dragon that we've got so far. Um, tentacles in the mouth. God, that was good. All right, Nick's born like skin. Um, all right. I'm trying to put bullet points that way all of this all of this makes sense to me somewhere. All right. Yeah. All right. So we've got tentacle breath. So when we're looking at a dragon then obviously we're still going to have still got a bite. Yeah, it's got a bite.
Mhm.
Um
Well, it needs to, right? It's your well is oh okay. So again, it's like the subversion of the expectation, right?
mhm.
Well, let me do this really quick before we go on too far. Are we? Is it still a dragon?
Oh,
But or is that's the thing? Is like we got to make it dragony, right?
yeah, dragon its type is definitely dragon.
Mhm.
So we've
So if we
got
go too far off the pale from what a dragon is,
yeah.
it's no longer a dragon, right? So what do we do to kind of like rein it back in to make it more
So
dragony?
so we're gonna have the standard dragon has multi attack. So we've got a bite and a claw, but like what kind of damage does it do with its
Necrotic.
bite? All right, so Kevin says all right, to kind of hone in on the skin appearance thing, inky black, like liquid skin that kind of seems to float off its body as if in zero gravity, which makes perfect sense with it being a far realm creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like
So
that.
that could give it kind of a bit of a displacement effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Or
think,
even
I
how
think,
about like I like that, like the shadowy effect going around it. What if its skin is actually translucent?
well, that's
like
kind of that's kind of that.
like a jellyfish, like where you can actually see like like its innards. You know what I mean? And there's like an ultraviolet. Okay, well, I mean like a.
I like it. It's creepy.
I want to go too far here. I'm trying to
Yeah,
you
no,
rein me in anytime you need to.
no. All right, yeah. So,
No, I like that though. I like the inky, like that. I like that it's like flowing underneath its skin,
yeah.
and this that maybe that's why it's unsettling, right? It's like that unsettling or that disturbing visage
All right.
is
So
you can't really keep your eyes on it.
yeah. So we've got that coming from that. So, maybe then, it's so disturbing and everything that maybe its bite somehow does psychic damage.
Ooh, yes, I
Um,
like that.
sorry, barbarians. Fuck you.
Coming right for you. All right, so let's see. So it would do at least some kind of physical damage, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a bite. It's gonna do piercing
Yeah,
damage.
but it'll be like the actual physical damage is not a big deal. I do like that. I like that psychic damage over necrotic. Good
Yeah,
call.
so it's gonna do piercing damage and then psychic. I think, normally it's just does piercing plus radiant or whatever. I feel like
Mhm.
it should still have some sort of, because it's psychic, right? We should
Mhm.
still have some sort of save there because not
Okay.
everyone is equally affected by seeing weird shit, right?
Mhm. Or
Um,
you can even do a build up. Like if you're bitten and something happens, and then there's like an after effect on your next turn, maybe. Or is that even? I'm trying to think of like making sure that it's still in line with the other 5th edition monster mechanics, right?
mhm.
That's more of a 4E thing where you would have like effects that would last more than a round.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like Ted says, like the way poison gets a secondary damage. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So you get so it bites you, does piercing damage. How about it does some psychic damage. You get a save, and
Mhm.
if you don't save, you're gonna take, more damage until you save. Because I don't know, maybe you feel like there's worms inside of you or something where it bit you.
Well, actually, that's not like a hallucinogenic effect,
Yes, there we
or like
go.
some kind of like a psychotropic effect. Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I like that. Let's see.
Or
Uh,
even like exhaustion. They could take a level of exhaustion from it, and then that would be one of those things where
uh,
it's kind of like there's a ticker.
yeah. So we got a couple suggestions here.
Yep, hit me.
So we got madness effect to the breath, or instead of continuing ongoing damage, like if you don't save, I mean madness is still a mechanic, so we just have to face that. That's fine. You get short-term madness, and then if you continue to fail, how madness does as a
Mhm.
it gets worse. You end up with long term, you end up with permanent, you end up with, I mean, this, your encounter with this dragon could scar you permanently, not just physically. No one's ever going to believe you though.
Right.
I like that. I like that. So the short-term madness, and then if you continue to fail, it builds.
Mhm.
That's powerful. Let's see. So secondary. All right. So short-term madness. So save. And then builds on each failure. So obviously you save at the end of your next turn, as
Mhm.
normal. All right, so cool. So we've got its regular actions because we've got its breath. So its breath is the tentacle breath. And the tentacles themselves, because we've gotten a yeah, that's not a bad idea, Kevin. We should submit this to the Tome of Beast 3. Maybe. Um, we gotta have 40 kobolds all at once, though.
Right.
We had several people suggest necrotic, so maybe that's where the tentacles come in.
Hmm.
When the tentacle breath comes out,
Oh, yeah, like
when those barbs
okay.
go into you,
I'm with
that's
you.
necrotic damage. So you start to kind of like atrophy from where the barbs have connected.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you know what? Then there's nothing. It doesn't swallow anything. Then, right? all it does is it drains you of your life force, and that's where the necrotic energy is. And there's no, it's like this doesn't actually draw you into a mouth. It's just all, it's like it. Sorry,
I mean, it can. I mean,
but it like vomits out the tentacles, and then latches onto you and sucks you dry. Nice.
I mean,
like
obviously, though, like I think the tentacles still pull you in because it still wants to bite you as well.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because that psychic damage, that madness, it's really debilitating.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're, hallucinating and everything, it can continue draining your life force there with the necrotic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Necrotic, life drain, and so what did I say with a roper? How far does a roper reach? It's ridiculously far.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be, if it, like you could do something. It's a dragon and it's an adult. It's going to be at least huge as an adult, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be 4x4 squares. So I would say like at least 30 feet.
Oh, it's gonna be way further than that. That's why I was saying that. Yeah, that's why I was saying roper, like, because a roper is already like extensively long.
Is it like 60 or something like that?
I think it's more than that. I don't know why D&D Beyond is not.
It's really slow right now.
Crazy slow. Let me grab my monster manual.
Yep.
Let's just do this the hard way. Never fear, everybody. 90 to 120 feet. Thanks, Tabletop Santa. All right, so I think 120 feet is reasonable. So you got it taking up its I'm confirming that QRS. I don't know how the alphabet goes. So Roper's grasping tentacles. So it has 6, but obviously we don't need 6.
Oh, we can do as many as you want. But it's all directed at one thing.
Yeah, Roper's.
Or it could be like a breath weapon though, and it could be done in a cone.
Oh, we're grabbing.
But 125 feet is going to be bananas big for a cone.
Yeah, bananas big, but we'll say, yeah, exactly. A huge dragon would have greater reach. So with Roper being 50, I think 120 is fine. And I don't think necessarily we need to do a cone, but I think it would be more terrifying if like it's got 3 tentacles. We can make them have a to hit if we want to make it fairer.
Or like other than that, or you could always do like a dexterity save. If it's an area of effect, though, right? But to your point, if it's going to be up to 3 targets can be targeted, or one target can be attacked 3 times, right? 2 on one on another, or however you want to. So it's 3 attacks.
If he's really got it out for the paladin, we're going to try 3 times to get the paladin.
Right, and so then it would be on a hit. They would have to do like a strength check or strength save to keep from being grappled, and then they would take the damage. Or let's see, on the hit they would take the damage, and then they would have to see if they didn't get grappled, and then that's whenever while they are grappled, then that's where you start adding on like the short-term madness and stuff like that onto it if you want to.
Is it a legendary attack with the tentacles? We haven't gotten to legendary attacks, but I think absolutely. So that's its breath weapon, and it should also, like much like every other one, breath weapon is generally part of its legendary.
Yeah. I think at least one extra tentacle as a one action point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So plus whatever to hit, and then it's doing some damage. So that's just fair. Damage. We'll come back to that. Strength save, grapple. Yeah, I like that. So we've got its breath weapon going. All right. Change shape. Dragons change shape. Right? We want this abomination changing shape still.
That's good. Or maybe it has a malleable shape. Right? Where it could evade. It has evasion. Maybe it has evasion. Nah, that's really powerful given that thing evasion.
Yeah.
It's something to where like it could use a reaction to give itself, I don't know, like advantage on a dexterity saving throw or something like that.
I
where
don't know.
it's
I
to
think
evade an attack, where it kind of like it's amorphous,
I think
right? But it doesn't.
I think evasion is fine if we're not giving it teleportation
Right. Okay.
because you can't teleport in the far realms, anyways.
Hmm. Can you not?
Eh.
Depends on the person you ask. Only one way to find out. Let's do this.
All right, somebody ring up Monty and ask him.
Right. Sage advice, please. Right.
No, teleportation magic does not work.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting. That's great for the DM.
Yeah. Far realms. Let me. I just looked this up recently, but let me look it up again. Uh, how do you go about reaching the far realm? No, 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 no. Naturally, Alan put that book upstairs, so I don't have it handy with me. Teleportation in the far realm. Yeah, I know. I was the one who looked this up more recently. Oh, but yeah, like there's so we can confirm if that's a thing. I'm pretty sure, you know.
I mean, it's inconsequential for this one anyway, right? The other teleports or it doesn't.
Yeah,
And we can say that it doesn't.
I say yeah, it doesn't. Instead, we give it evasion in place of teleport, which makes this thing something that you don't really want to tangle with because I assume then having evasion, it's probably going to have a pretty high dexterity. So throwing area of effect spells at it, it's just going to be like, whoop.
Yeah.
Like you said, kind of amorphous, like flubber.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what.
It takes the shape that it needs to in order to evade the attack. That's all that matters.
It's a cat. It's liquid.
Right.
Evasion, not teleport. All right. Yeah.
So, and then obviously flight. It's gonna need if it has like the nubby hind legs and the fishy tail, right? Or not like the tadpole tail. Is it gonna fly and hover?
So it can fly and hover when it's not in the far realm. In the far realm, you move by thinking about it.
Right.
So yeah, so in normal space, yeah, it's got a fly and a hover. Its walking speed is gonna be kind of slow. So if you can get it back into a normal space and get it on the ground, you've got an advantage on it. So I think that's, so fly, it's got swim speed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the standard 80 feet fly. So it is a little bit slower than normal on land. So 30 feet. Swim, I'd give it swim of like 50. And then fly, standard fly of 80. But I'm writing these in no particular order. I'm gonna have to make this format this later into a nice pretty thing. Yeah. All right. So we need to get some stats on this bad boy and then get some legendary actions and then we're done.
Sweet.
All right. So we've already determined it's kind of amorphous. It's got weird skin. Yeah, recap of what we got. All right. Recap of what we got. So it has this Nyxborn like skin, kind of inky, gives it a bit of a displacement, which makes the evasion make sense. It has front legs. Its body is rear legs are more suited to like aquatic stuff, so it kind of has like those flippers for water, but can also walk kind of like a seal or whatever John was trying to think of earlier.
Right, whatever it was, it's fine. It's not. It's inconsequential. It's fine.
It's got wings. They are kind of more like webbed.
Like gossamer.
Oh yeah, no, it's supernatural in water. It'll be supernatural in water. Like it would totally make sense there. Hold on, sorry, I'm interrupting my own self. It has tentacles in its mouth that are barbed, pharyngeal tentacles like a moray eel. And so its bite It does, of course, piercing damage, but the secondary damage is psychic, and you get to save. If you fail to save, you get short-term madness. If you continue failing to save, your madness multiplies, amplifies. And then its breath weapon is its tentacles. It shoots its tentacles out. So we didn't actually confirm the number of tentacles that we were tossing around, 3. That may or may
I
not
think
be
we
the
said
right number.
right, and they don't have to be like a single tentacle. It's like it can make attacks. It could be like 100 tentacles that come out of its mouth, like really like spindly ones, like tapeworms. But they you can only target up to 3 things at one time. How's that sound?
Yeah, we could choose a number there. Yeah,
Do we really have to use like? Did John just say tapeworms? Is that where this is? Last time I'm on ever.
But anyway, so its tentacles shoot out and they, barbs into your opponents up to 120 feet away. They do necrotic damage. They can, you have to save for the grapple. If you get grappled, it'll pull you in, and that necrotic damage is like draining you. Somebody's like, yeah, nematodes, yeah.
Nematodes. That's where the nematodes are. See? Came all the way back around. I
Um,
planned it all along.
yeah. So that's its tentacle breath. Claws are, normal claws. Instead of giving this one teleport, because it's native to the far realms, but super adaptable to water environments, it has evasion, which also makes sense with that displacement kind of effect we have from its inky, amorphous, kind of see-through sky-like skin. God, that's gonna be so hard to draw. We're gonna need some watercolors.
Talented.
It's got a slightly slower than normal land speed for an adult dragon, 30 feet. It can swim 50 feet. It can fly 80 feet. When it's, in an area where it needs to fly. Oh, listen, we have some Coke here. All right. So it is native to far realms. So I think with that in mind, we definitely want to give it intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you move there. So I don't know why I keep looking over here like I don't know what order the stats go in. Yeah. Maybe one eye like a cyclops. Oh,
I like that.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. One big eye or one small eye?
I think the small eye is actually more unsettling. It's like a really big brow and a large cavity for it, but it's like beep, right in the middle.
What does a dragon like this hoard for its treasure? That's a great question.
Oh, that's a really good question.
Great question, Rick. What do you think a dragon like this hoards for its treasure?
Yeah.
All right, stats. Stats. Strength. Is it very strong? Does it need to be very strong?
I don't think it needs to be super strong. Probably like a 17. An aboleth is 21.
Yeah, I feel like
Aboleth is large.
that's pretty weak for an adult dragon, so I think that's fine because it's not focused on brute strength overpowering you. It's more of a precision. So dexterity then. Dexterity, I think we want to go for at least 20.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Having evasion, that makes sense.
Yeah, we could yeah, I think 20. 20 is a nice number. We're gonna give it some good int as well. I think we want a +4 on int. So
like 19. Yeah.
19.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a charisma? I'm skipping around a little bit. Is this a charismatic dragon? Oh, 10. Great. I think the dragon should hoard emotions stolen from its victims and vassals. Somebody else said soul coins in the other chat. That actually kind of goes together because what is a soul coin if not full of emotion? That emotion is probably anger. And also probably disappointment at yourself for making poor choices. But, it's an emotion.
Like fighting I don't know, like a tentacled dragon.
Somebody else says hoard gemstones and magical gems of some sort. So, gemstones could be like soul stones.
Wait. What? Yes. What if the end result of the effect of it eating it is that the husk kind of like crumble or like crunches up, and the pressure, the psychic pressure creates a gem, and then where their soul is ensnared in it.
Oh, that's a good mythic.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's come back to that. Anyways, is it charismatic?
Is it charismatic? I'm gonna have to rely on chat for that one. I think an argument can be made in either direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think an argument could be made in either direction. I don't think that it has a super high I don't think it has a super high wisdom. I think it's got a fairly,
Mundane,
average
like a 12 or a
uh
13, something like that.
average for an adult dragon. We're not really seeing those 12s very much.
Right.
I think maybe like a 14, so I'd give it a +2.
Okay.
Because dragons don't generally get negatives. Not adult dragons anyways.
Mhm.
So down to what did I just say? A 14? All right, so we got a +2 here. We got a +4 there. We got a +5 here. We got math is hard here. Uh, I know. I swear I know how to do this. +3 to strength. Um, yeah, it definitely has more int. So we have it at a +4 for int right now, 19. We definitely could bump that up. You're right, because with the psychic powers, you're totally right. I think we should. I think you're right. I think maybe more like a. Let's just skip around. Maybe we go with a 23 on that.
Yeah, Craig's makes a pretty good point here in chat. It's a high charisma to create horror. It's like a presence, right? A horrific presence, something that
I'm gonna dump some more strength. I'm gonna drop strength down to 15.
okay.
Yeah. So 23 gets me up to a +6. Try to math. All right. Yeah. So a high charisma. So just give it like a 19.
Mm-hmm.
And then con. So we can't be great at everything. So it doesn't have a super high con.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just go with like a nice baseline, like 20, you know? It's just pretty standard for something just like of that level.
So what are our stats so far? Help me remember, because I'm trying to think about like it's an adult, right? So it has to have a direction to go in.
All right, let's see. Can I get this up here?
Let's see. I gotcha. Okay, so
All right.
15, 20, 20, 23, 14, 19. Ooh, those are pretty. How about what if we brought the con down to like 16? How do you feel about
I
that?
think that's too low.
Is it too low?
I mean,
we need to bring the intelligence down probably a little bit then, I would think. 23 is really high for intelligence.
yeah, I know, but that's like it's gonna be its like main thing with all the psychic stuff.
Mm.
We could drop its dex a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's like 18, 17.
Or yeah, 18. I like 18. Let's kind of even it out here. All right. And I'll do some math. I'll do some actual math later to see if this balances.
Right.
We're just kind of spitballing it for now. All right, so we've got that. That being a focus on like horror, psychic stuff, it's saving throws. I think it's gonna want to have proficiency in a con save.
Mm-hmm. Or dex and int. What do you think?
I definitely think we want to go with the con save. In case like we're thinking, it's gonna have other spell casting stuff, so some concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're kind of cast some illusion stuff, right?
Okay.
So saves. So we'll give it. I mean, we can give it proficiency in 4 stats.
Mm-hmm.
So we got con. You said int. I think we go with
dex.
Dex and charisma.
It's already got a high enough charisma to where it doesn't need the bump. Does a dragon typically have 4 proficiencies?
Yes.
Then I would definitely put it in charisma.
Not or do we want to give it proficiency in wisdom? What's some wisdom spells? save wisdom. Uh, uh, uh. I know that's a thing. It happens all the time. Enchantment spells. Yeah, we don't want it
Mhm.
enchanted. Yeah. All right. So con, int, dex, wisdom. That makes sense. Because, like you said, its charisma's already pretty high, so it's already gonna have a +4 to that save.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, some skills. Obviously it's stealthy.
Yeah, I think stealth would be good. Let's see.
Does it have
Intelligent Arcana would
Arcana?
be. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, makes sense.
I was gonna say Arcana. We get one more.
One more. Not religion.
Hmm.
Maybe religion.
That would be an
that would make
interesting
sense.
one. Although, why is it making religion skill checks?
Because there's always something bigger than it that it worships, and that has like some of a. It's like the bigger fish in the pond. Maybe I don't know. I was thinking more along the lines of like a cultist, so I think religion would go cult based. That I don't think can fit with this one. Let me see what else other options we've got here.
Yeah. Most of the ones in the book have perception, stealth, survival, but that seems very predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I
There we
think
go.
I think you're right though. I think religion could go along with its high persuasion
Mm-hmm.
from being so charismatic. Like it has that cult of personality even though it shouldn't, right?
Right.
All right.
It could be history because it lives for eons, right?
Nah,
It's lived.
dragons just know history. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we got stealth. Definitely stealth. Stealth was the first one. So, right now we got stealth, arcana, and religion.
Mhm.
Let's see. So we got a couple of suggestions. Ooh, stealth only in water. Or yeah, I think I don't know that I would agree with only in water. I would agree with disadvantage on land if it's walking.
But it's hovering, right?
If it's walking.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I got you. If it's reduced to its walk speed.
Disadvantage, yeah. When walk. Cause, stealth when flying, stealth when swimming, those make perfect sense, but
Mhm.
it's kind of dragging its I would almost said carcass. It's dragging its carcass along.
It's bloated carcass. Yeah,
So
fair.
that's not particularly stealthy. Okay. With a couple of suggestions. All right, legendary. Okay, so legendary. Uh, legendary attack could be like a gaze attack because we've got the single
Mhm.
small eye.
Yep.
Um,
Or it could be a ray,
or
right?
yeah, legendary attack gaze with horrific illusion or enhanced fear. Legendary action could be greater illusion, mind whip, psychic fracture.
Like mind whip.
I do like mind whip. So I mean we get 3 legendary actions though.
Okay, so you typically would have like one physical attack, right? So
Mhm.
one tentacle attack is an action, is 1 point. You could do like a psychic beam. Uh,
So some sort of psychic beam as the gaze attack.
yeah, where
And
it does like a 120-foot line,
mhm.
and that's like 5 feet wide, almost like a lightning bolt, and does psychic energy since it's a psychic beam.
So that be what is psychic fracture? That's a spell, isn't it?
Yes, look it up. If D&D Beyond wants to behave itself and participate.
Yeah, I didn't pick up my spell book while it was over there. Telekinesis. Oh,
If we're talking about like spell like abilities, oh yeah.
yeah, somebody's like, yeah, telekinesis. I think telekinesis, definitely as like, I don't know what page I'm on. I'm somewhere. um, Ghost Dragon. Great Worm. There we are. Let's see. Uh, yeah. All right. Hmm.
Man,
So we've still got we still have the one mythic action, figuring out what the gaze is. Telekinesis, whatever. I knew what you meant. Yeah, Earthbound is definitely its weakness. If you can somehow
mm,
like take out its wings and get it on a material plane of some sort, then like and away from water, then
or
you
like reverse gravity.
oh gosh. Okay, let's not go around telling everyone it's one weak spell. All right, so yeah, so gaze. So we discussed for legendary action more tentacles, more breaths. That's
Mhm.
usually a thing.
Yep.
Um so do we want this gaze to be like the big legendary action? And
Yeah, I think so.
we give it a couple of options. Like it doesn't have to be just one. And
Mhm.
then so it's more tentacle breath. All right. More tentacle breath is the medium action, and then so it's gaze. I liked.
What about a hypnotic blast instead of a gaze?
I mean, I mean, yeah, gaze is whatever. So hypnotic blast. What is that?
So I'm thinking like you could do a little bit of damage, or instead of it's a like a cone effect that causes the charmed condition,
Okay.
right? Or if not the charmed condition, they could be incapacitated.
What does illusion magic usually do? It
Um,
gets you stuck in your own
mhm,
head.
yep.
It's not a charm condition. I kind of want to go away from charm conditions because we're just gonna get a party of elves coming up on this thing.
Okay. All right. So let's see then. Instead of the charmed condition, you could go with
Mhm.
think about this for a second. Like I said, you
Um,
could go with incapacitated or you could go with paralyzed.
oh, I like this. Give it enhanced gas as its legendary.
Oh, okay.
So like the gas spell, but like more. The suggestion here was 10d6 instead of 5d10. That's
Okay. I see something akin to it. I got you. I got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Communicate.
Um,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah. Does it have a black tentacle spell? So we haven't even gotten into its spell list.
Mm.
Yes, it's got the black tentacle spell. Yeah, I like the idea for um I think I think I kind of want to do like all of these. So I am kind of like back to the gaze thing. So the gaze thing, and you have a couple of options. So you've got like your enhanced gaze option. You've got your I'm really still kind of drawn on the telekinesis option because it could be like telekinesis, like you pick up every enemy within however many feet of you and you just chunk them.
Mhm.
How is that for a legendary action? No,
You could use you could use them as a catapult almost, where
yeah,
you can knock them up against another creature.
telekinesis, and then the other one was something with illusion, so like some sort of really major illusion spell. Um,
Evard's Black Tentacles as
I
the
mean that's
spell.
yeah, that's definitely a spell. That's
Like
getting
that.
yeah.
Yep.
So, spell list. All right. Spell list. So we get a couple of at will spells, and then one, two, three, four, five that it can cast once a day.
Okay. Let's see
So
spells.
at will. Uh, one a day. So one a day. I think we definitely put Ivar's on there. That's super
Mhm.
thematic. I think we definitely want it to do more enchantment magic.
Let's see here. Hags, enchantment.
Let's see if D&D Beyond will let me click enchantment magic. It's having a time.
Yeah, it's struggling.
Enchantment magic. Uh, I.
Where's it at?
Uh,
Oh, I like that one. Hang on a second.
yeah. Telekinesis is also great for using the terrain against the party as well. Here, catch these boulders. Yeah. Um. Oh.
I was almost going to say Horrid Wilting, but that's an 8th level spell.
For once a day, sure. It can do horrid wilting.
That would be its kind of it's one big then, I would say. This is pretty nasty. You draw the moisture from every creature within a 30-foot cube centered on a point you choose. They make saving throws.
So of ours is kind of our low level when horrid wilting being, I mean, obviously if we're submitting this to Cobalt, then we'll change these.
Right.
We'll make our own spells.
Yeah, of course. It's
Mass-
Ginny's Horrid Wilting, not Nabi what is it? Abidalsim. Right.
Yeah, let's see. Mass illusion or illusory terrain.
I like illusory terrain.
Yeah.
I like that one. That is an underutilized spell.
What level is that?
Let's see. Find out
Yeah.
if it'll let me. It is level 4.
4? That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
That's perfect. So we got we've got a Vards, which is whatever level that is. We've got our 4th level illusory terrain. I like that. And then I think I was looking at something maybe like mass suggestion or synaptic static.
I like synaptic static.
I like
It's a good one.
I like synaptic static. It fits in very well with the whole like we're just gonna do a lot of psychic energy, like because you get that whole God, I really want to cause those people pain too, but they're very far away. Illusory terrain. Let me finish writing that down. So we got 2 at will spells still.
2 at wills. Oh boy. Let's see here.
Synaptic static.
Don't necessarily have to be level or cantrips either.
They don't have to be cantrips or 1st level. I think like
Eldritch Blast. I mean,
Eldritch Blast is good. I kind of like Dissonant Whispers.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I like that one.
So we want to go with Dissonant Whispers, and I don't want to do 2 like
2 1st level spells.
Damage spells.
I gotcha. I'm with you. Okay. Let's see.
And I'm less worried about him having like a blasting cannon, so I don't think really Eldritch Blast is necessary for him.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's see.
We've got tentacles after all. Come on, remember.
You could do Hail of Thorns. That's damage.
That's damage.
I know. I keep forgetting. Let's see.
Maybe
Magnify Gravity. Oh. I don't think it would want that though, would it?
I don't know. I'm looking up cantrips. Maybe I might be looking up cantrips.
Barbs.
Let's see.
Ooh, Crown of Madness. Yes. Good call, Craig.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know why compulsion is obviously not what I wanted. Crown of Madness at will. That's good.
That's that 2nd level or 1st level?
I don't know.
It's 2nd level.
Well, that might be a bit much then.
Can we? Yeah, that's a really good one though.
We can do something. We can make something similar to it. Yeah. So let's just take Crown of Madness and maybe tone it down.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so 1 humanoid of your choice, Wisdom saving throw that can see you, or become charmed by you for the duration. But we said we wanted to. Do you want to still shy away from charmed, or do you want to do? Let's see what else, because that's really that's the effect.
No, I mean
target is charmed.
I think that's fine. Uh, let's see. Since it can do it at will, we can just uh say that you charm a creature for that turn.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Oh,
that bottom part just goes away on your subsequent turns.
did we already say Arms of Hadar?
No.
'Cause that's a first level spell, but that's damage.
That's damage.
So never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
All the
Let's
damage.
see. So I want to make a warlock and this dragon is their patron. Yes, absolutely. Call it Torque of Insanity and it's cantrip level.
Torque of Insanity. Very nice.
Yeah, so I think we go with Crown of Madness and we just take away the on subsequent turns. Since it's at will, if they want it to happen again, they just
They use an action, right? Maybe they could use an action or a bonus action or something like that to maintain the charm, or they have to use it every single turn.
yeah. Well, no. Yeah, that's what this says. On your turns you have to use your action.
Oh, you do. Okay, there you go.
Well, with that in mind, then I think having it, yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking too. Armor of Agathis is another option, or distort value.
I don't know. I'm really into this Crown of Madness type thing. I think we just need to workshop it and
You can make it a
figure.
fear effect
Um.
instead.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Crown of. I'm just gonna write Crown of Fear. Instead of it becoming charmed, it becomes yeah.
Mhm. Trying to see though, like, isn't there's a cause fear that's at first level though, isn't there?
I don't know. We can workshop that. All right,
Yeah.
so I think we've got everything we need except our mythic action
Okay.
at this point. Mind Sliver.
No, well, let me ask you this: is this a creature that is big enough to warrant a mythic,
I mean,
or do we want to do we want to tinker with the idea of doing a mythic for the sake of doing a mythic?
I wanna do a mythic for the sake of doing a mythic.
Let's do it then. All right. So, under what condition does the mythic trigger?
You kill it.
Okay. So if it dies, then how about it bifurcates? It splits up into two creatures with that each have half of its maximum hit points.
You're making me make a second stat block.
No. It would be no. It would be the same creature. You have to kill it twice, and when you kill it the second time, you have to kill it twice. Just a thought.
So
I'm brainstorming here. So
all right. So mythic action. Psychic tsunami. If multi-attack should allow it to substitute a spell for an attack.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, that's a good point. So like an ooze. Oh, yeah, Ted, you're right. Like an ooze. All right. So when it splits, then into two, you've got two of them now, but it no longer has legendaries.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm done with that.
It gets a mythic instead that it can use once per round.
Right. Okay.
Because there's now two of them. So we still want to give it a cool mythic action. So it dies, it splits like an ooze. We've got two of them who now have a mythic action that they can use once per round. So we want to make it. I like the psychic tsunami idea.
Yeah. Same.
I don't know what that does, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, I like that. So okay, then what does it do? Psychic, does it do damage or does it do a condition?
All right.
Or
so
does it?
We've got here. Okay. Any spells that were remaining are converted to AoE Psychic Wave, where each spell is 1d6 damage. So if it's still at a first, a fourth, and an eighth, it does 10d6 damage. I think limiting it to we didn't use the spells is limiting. I mean, it's only going to get to do it once per round, so I think we just pick a big number, make it an AoE. I like it just 13d6. That's a lot. Yeah, so we just say It has one opportunity because let's be honest, it's not going to get that many opportunities to do this.
Mhm.
One opportunity to just do this big psychic wave. Uh, yeah, based on its CR rating. So we've dropped it. We've dropped its CR rating in half, 14. Um, I like, I like 14. D6.
That's a, that's
I
that's
know.
every round.
No, it gets to do it. No, no. I think at that point we're gonna have to say that it can do it once.
Yes, we could do it as like a death throw. We're like if we're gonna go dragon, like that's very that's draconian.
I mean, it's gonna be what it is. So it has where did we get the 261 from? I don't know. So it has 20d20 plus
What's its constitution bonus?
5.
So it's so okay, gotcha. So the 20d20, 20d20s.
Yeah, that's oh no, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Uh,
Whew, okay. I think I just had an aneurysm.
20d12.
Cool. All right, I can do that. See that?
Yes,
100.
yeah, like you said, self-destruct. Yes, it's a one-time thing upon death.
Yep.
It's. I ain't going down by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Action.
Yeah, like the like the old draconians used to do,
Mm-hmm. I like that.
and like the new ones do.
All right. So it's psychic wave. So sorry. We've split it. So it was like a challenge. I don't know, 14 to start as an adult.
Okay.
So if we've split it, it's much lower now. It's not a challenge 7. Because it still has all of its abilities, but it has half its hit points, so it's probably like a challenge 10. So I think
Okay.
10 d6. It's already causing psychic damage on John. All right.
That's a hell of a death throw. Up to 60 or 30, like averaging what 30 to 35 points of damage
Mythic
when it dies
action.
after you've killed it the first time.
Splits in 2 ooze style. Each has half HP, no legendaries, and has a psychic tsunami, self-destruct. That's the best way to describe it. Which is gonna be, yeah, I think 10d6, and it's in a wave all around it, 60 feet.
That's big. That's bigger than a fireball. Say
Yeah,
30 foot radius. That's 60 feet.
yeah, that's what I meant.
That's 60 feet wide. I got you. Yes. So 30 feet.
Yeah.
30 foot radius.
30
It would be
foot.
60 feet in diameter.
Yeah, 30-foot radius. And obviously, that's gonna be dex, and we didn't give it tons of dex, so the save on that is fairly reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Well, but what is its spell effects would be based on its charisma, right? Or would it be its it wouldn't be its intelligence, would it?
Well,
I kind of would.
So, oh, you're right. So it's DC. It is a dex save, but it's DC. You're right. Is based on its intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So DC is math. DC is math.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
8 plus whatever the proficiency bonus is, right?
Yeah, dex, and then of course save for half. So anyone who does save and has evasion is like, aha. Save for half. All right. I have to put this into actual stat block form. I'll see if I can find someone to doodle a sketch. Surely somebody out there can make this look cool.
I'm not your dwarf.
No.
It ain't me. I can make pretty decent maps, but that's about it. I'm not a sketch artist, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go pester my roommate downstairs and be like, hey, can you draw this thing for me? Don't ask a lot of questions.
Don't ask me about the tentacles. It's none of your business.
And I'm gonna put it up in a stat block. Yeah, don't ask about the tentacles. All right. So yeah. So with that, don't know if we got any more donations to the charity. If you enjoyed this though, I encourage you to donate as much as you feel like it. If it's $10, then that's $10. If it's five, whatever. Every little bit helps. And I will get this put together. John, this was so much fun.
Awesome. Are
This
you kidding
was-
me? We
yeah.
made a dragon.
We made a drag.
And it had tentacles.
We made an
Mission
abomination.
accomplished.
Wait, what are we calling it?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's a great question. Yeah, we got to give this thing a name. A dragon of the deep, or void dragon.
Isn't Void Dragon a thing somewhere?
It may be. I don't know. It may be. Let's see.
I feel like that's too spot on.
Abyssal dragon.
Too spot on. Alan, we need some dragon names for something that's an abomination. Okay, Alan's gonna think about it. He has to see it. He wasn't paying attention.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, let me think about this.
Yeah. All right. So, what is this dragon's home plane again? Home plane is the Far Realms.
Yes.
We can. You know what? We don't need a name right now. We're gonna come back to the name. We're gonna circle around on the name. I'm gonna put the stat block together. I'm gonna put it on Twitter. We'll take suggestions. I'm gonna put it on Facebook too. We'll take suggestions there, and then you know what? We're gonna do this democracy style, and then I'm gonna run a poll,
There you go.
and we're gonna let the people choose.
Let the people choose.
Let the people choose. So think about it. Think about it. Obviously, names are the hardest part, as we all know. Not just knowing that immediately is fine. I always make my co-writers pick the names. It's cool.
Like I'll just if it's for the Far Realm, its actual name is just choking sounds or gurgling or something like that.
We can't know its real name. Its real name has power.
Oh, it's true. If you know its true name, yeah, then you have a power over it.
Yeah, we need the species. of dragon.
Anaxuna Moon.
Shouldn't have said its real name. All right. Yes. All right. So, this has been fun. We will be doing something like this of unknown topic next month. But before we get into next month, we still have 2 streaming events left for this month. And I don't know, I'm biased, but I think they're both going to be really great. So we have 2 games running this weekend. 2 stream games. They're about 2 hours long-ish. I have a feeling they're going to both veer more toward 3 hours, but whatever. So tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m., if you like funny things, we have the game for you. Our very own Matt Lane is going to be running Under Mountain the Musical. And we have quite the cast lined up for that. We've got some theater people on the cast. We've got some people who stream frequently. We've got people ready to sing. We have Megan is going to sing just to embarrass her children, specifically. So I'm ready for that. Like, I'm all about that. And then, so that's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, if you're not a nighttime person, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I am running a Feywild game, The Landscape of Historian LaFey, written by Gabe Hicks. It's very, got a lot of calls to like Alice in Wonderland and everything like that. And it is going to be very roleplay intense. We're going to talk in rhymes, not good rhymes. There will not be a single good rhyme. If you're there for good rhymes, you're in the wrong stream. And we're just going to have a lot of good laughs for both of them. We'll be doing some perks that you can donate to get there as well. Some rerolls for the group, some magic items, some other thing that I've currently forgotten. There's 3 options. Um, if you want to participate in that to help or hinder the group. I mean, nobody says you can't give the magic item to the bad guy. So, you know, you do you. I, for one, would be delighted if you give my NPCs magic items. No particular reason. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. The players don't need to worry. Yeah, we've got an excellent cast for that as well, including Tabletop Santa, who is watching right now on one of these channels. And yeah, John, do you have any closing thoughts? Or do you want to let everyone know where they can find you online?
Yes, of course. Okay, yeah. So my name is John Christian. I have gone under the moniker of the Dwarven DM for a while. My friends gave it to me in high school. I am part of a trio of knuckleheads or yahoos. What's another thing? Ding dongs.
Scallywags.
Sure. That equates also. We are a member of the Geeks Can't podcast. We've been podcasting. It's other members of the Baldman Games committees, Troy Sandlin and Zach Goins. We record live on stream in Twitch on Sundays and Tuesdays. And we would love to have you there. You can reach us on the usual socials, Geeks Can't on Facebook, Twitter, geekscant@gmail.com, all that good stuff. So I'll put some links in the doobly-doo here shortly, so you can reach out to us. Geekscant.com is another one. So feel free to reach out, give the show a listen. We sit around and we talk about things outside of just D&D. We talk about Tales from the Loop, Morkborg, let's see, Fantasy Flight Games stuff, Modiphius stuff, you name it. Board games, anything that has to do with geekery, we're into it. So love to have you there.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I just dropped all the links in both chats for all of the Baldman game stuff. You can join our Discord community. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's free. And you don't have to subscribe on Twitch if you want to. We'd love it. I don't think you can yet, actually. We need to hit affiliate. So hit that follow button. And you can follow us on Twitter as to get the best best updates. They also go on Facebook. And if you're looking for me, you can find me on the internet on all the things at Ginny Loveday, GINNYLOVEDAY. It's right above my head right now. And yeah, hope to see everyone on Sunday. And I don't know what you just put. Twitter at Geeks Can't, Facebook star.
Those are our socials. Some of the socials.
What's the star? Is it the same at Geeks Can't?
Star. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing that it censored you.
How dare you, Twitch? You suck. I don't know why. All I put is Geeks Can't in there.
Oh, I don't know. And then email is geekscant at star.
Oh, it doesn't like me putting in my email address in there.
No, it definitely does not like that. But
yeah. Maybe we'll post it somewhere else. It's fine. We'll figure it
out. We'll post it on the tweet when we put the stat block up. How to reach John.
I like it. You can tag me.
We'll tag him. We've tagged him and all the other things. But yeah. Right. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us for 2 hours and creating this absolutely ridiculous, amazing monstrosity, abomination. I don't know. We're gonna categorize it later. It's true. It's fine. And yeah, I can't wait to do something like this again. All right. I think that's it. John, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. All right. That's it, everybody. So until later. All right.
Later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.